Need a local MongoDB instance for development and testing? I'm Nick Raboy, and I'll show you how to get a self-hosted database running with a single Docker command. Let's get started. With Docker available on Mac, Windows, or Linux, I have my terminal open and I'm going to run the following command. I'm going to say docker pull, and then I'm going to choose the MongoDB Community Server Edition. If you want to use Enterprise Edition, swap out Community with Enterprise. Go ahead and run it, and that will download the particular Docker image. With the Docker image downloaded, the next thing that we want to do is we want to create a Docker volume. So what we can say is we can say docker volume create MongoDB, and that's going to create a volume that persists every time that we start and stop our container. It can even be backed up if we want to in the future. Next, we can run the Docker command for actually deploying that container based on the image that we downloaded. So if I run the following command, what I'm saying I want to run it in detached mode, so I'm not going to show any shell logs unless I specifically request them later. I'm going to map the port on the host and the container at the same port, which is 2701. I'm going to specify the root username and password that I want to use for this particular container. You could always specify specific password rules later when you deploy the container, but the root is going to be nraboy and password 1234. We're going to be using that Docker volume, MongoDB, and we're going to map it to the container volume located at data/db. So that's going to contain all of our data, configuration files, etc. So that way we can persist it between boots, and we can also back it up later if we wanted to using various commands. So I'm going to hit enter, and bam, it is deployed. And I can validate that it is deployed by going into another terminal or even the same terminal and trying to connect with the MongoDB shell. So I'm going to run this command. I'm going to enter my password, and you can see that I'm connected. I can say show DBs, and it'll list the available DBs that I have. So that's one way to do business. We could use that single command. However, you might appreciate using Docker Compose instead of that single line. It's easier to maintain, and you can just boot it up and stop it with a single command, and it is saved as a file using YAML. So let's take the following Docker Compose file, for example. It uses all of the same information we saw in that single Docker command. We have the image that we want to use. We have the name that we want to use, the ports. The volume is still going to be MongoDB. It's mapped to an external volume. We're using the username and password. We're using all that same information. It is just part of a YAML file, so that way we can use Docker Compose. Now, if we wanted to run this, we can say Docker Compose up. If we want to run it in detached mode, we use -d. If we wanted to bring this container down, what we can do is we can say Docker Compose down. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I hope to see you on the next video.